So I was going through Facebook Marketplace today, looking at some power sports stuff, looking what kind of deals there were, and I stumbled across this. 03 LTZ400, turnkey, runs and drives, all stock besides Yoshimura RS2 full exhaust, new Moto Sport Nerf bars, new ITP wheels, powder coated black with brand new ITP whole shot tires, OEM Mikuni carb, just changed the oil as well as did a coolant flush, needs new front and rear brake pads, bars have had a slight bend in them since I've owned the machine. Sunstar chain and sprockets only, have 3 rides on them. I've owned this machine for 3 years, ridden it less than 10 times. Besides some small cosmetic things, it really needs nothing. Jump on it and rip. 2K. No title. No title. All right, let's look at this thing. Pretty blurry photo. You can see some very obvious fade spots. Zip ties holding the plastics together. Finals pretty nice. Yoshimura exhaust, pretty decent. Those rear tires do look pretty nice. ITP whole shots are good money. Got a Motorsport Nerf bars. It looks to be complete. It's not crazy worn, but it's definitely worn. I think the biggest concern is that faded plastic. Seat looks decent. It's an aftermarket, but it looks decent. I would say this quad would sell in my area for about probably 2K winter season. He's asking 2K, so he's like kind of right on the money. I say we throw him an offer of 1,500. Will you take 2,000 or no? We'll say 1,500, right? So you can make 500 bucks. It's like not too far from my place. We take 1,500 cash today and send. That's right there. Will you take 1,500 cash today? We'll see what he says. He already saw my message. And what's he gonna say? He says, "Hey, you come into Mid-Ohio all the time, don't you?" Do I know this guy? What? He's messaging me like he knows me. Quite a bit. Yeah. What is going on? Why does this guy acting like he knows me? Alright, he said, I've got a guy coming this evening, 1,700 cash. If you're interested, it's here at Mid-Ohio right now. If you want to check it out, I'd sell it for 1,700 right now. Then I don't have to worry about loading it and hauling it home. Apparently, he's got it at, it must be a Mid-Ohio Power Sports, is what I'm guessing. I don't want it for 17 anyways. I think the fade's just a little too hard for me to ask 2,200. I think I would only be interested in this one at 1,500. That way I can make a solid 500. Sorry, I can only do 1,500, man. Send. Yeah, I think it's safe to say, not gonna get that one. Okay, he said, no problem. If it falls through for some reason this evening, I'll reach back out to you. Sounds good. Alright, he just messaged me. He said 1,500 cash today if you want it. I'll be here until 6. So apparently I realized later on that this is the parts salesman at Mid-Ohio Power Sports. So that's why he knew me. And I recognized his face when I pulled up his profile a little bit later. And yeah, apparently it's at Mid-Ohio, not too far from my place. And he said 1,500 cash today if you want it. So I think I'm gonna go snag it up. So let's go check this out. All right, I got the trailer loaded up. We are headed to Mid-Ohio Power Sports now. I talked to the guy and confirmed it is a private sale. It's not through the business or anything. Not like there's like sales tax and everything tacked on top of the $1,500. So it's supposed to be a turnkey quad for 1,500 bucks. Should not have any issues. So I'm gonna really kind of look it down, make sure it is what he says it is. But if so, I mean, that's an easy 500 bucks in my head. So I'm definitely gonna go check that out. Hopefully he'll let me record, and I'll see how cool this thing is. So I'll see you in a bit. All right, we're here at Mid-Ohio Power Sports. Let's go check this thing out. But it was your own bike for 3 years?
Yep. Yes, sir. It is jetted to run on the airbox lid.
With no airbox lift?
Yep.
Okay.
Fresh battery, and like I said, coolant flush.
What kind of battery did you throw in there?
It is BTX Yamaha, I believe.
Oh, you put a legit battery in there. Nice. The Yosh looks pretty clean.
The pipe probably has one ride on it.
It's not as faded as it looked in the photos, actually, which is kind of funny.
It was really bad when I got it. It sat outside, and I truly believe it's a low hours machine. I got it, and the valves are so far out of adjustment it wouldn't run.
Yeah.
And after I've done that, and I bought an OEM Suzuki Mikuni carburetor from Suzuki and put back on it. It's run great ever since. So.
Just a little dirty. Oh, it's full exhaust too. Cool. Fire up.
The only thing out of the ordinary, the ignition switch is kind of funny.
Is it loose?
You kind of hold it from the backside.
It's not OEM, that's why, right?
What's that?
Is it just not an OEM key?
No, I don't think it's an OEM key. No.
Definitely not. I wonder, that doesn't look right either, so. Is it just not mounted right?
Yeah, I don't know what they have going on with it.
It just needs a different ignition. I think that's an aftermarket ignition, and it didn't fit right.
Yeah, usually if you hold it from the backside and
Neutral lights
you
all
get the
blinky.
neutral light to come on. But
That's weird. Is that the ignition
which is
switch
weird.
itself?
I've never had it stall on me riding it or anything because of it. It's just really weird that you have to sit there and play with it to actually get it to.
Okay. Lights work?
Headlights do work. Or, you know, since I've had it here, I haven't tested them, but they did work.
Yeah, it's not. Should be on with 2 clicks. Unless
Yeah,
this is all jacked, which honestly it wouldn't surprise me. The neutral light should still be on right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's all kinds of not working the way it should. Alright.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what they had going on with that.
Not a big deal. At least it has the headlight. So many people steal those. Do you have the bypass on it? Yep. Yeah, you did the bypass. Okay. I do that all the time on mine.
Yeah,
do you still have the OEM petcock though?
That I'm not sure of. I've never had any issue with it, and I know everybody puts the Raptor ones on it, but I haven't had any issue on it.
Yeah, the only reason you do it is because there's always flow, and technically if your needle valve, you know, goes, it just gets into your oil, and that's the biggest issue with them. Did you have the idle that high before?
I turned it up when I got it here because with it being cold, it seemed like it wanted to idle kind of rough being out here, but then yeah, I did turn it up.
It doesn't want to idle low very much, does it? Noise. You know what that tapping is? It's a lot more notable over here. Come over here.
Yeah, I do kind of hear it.
It's kind of weird. Other than that, it's quiet.
Yeah, it's odd. I'm not sure.
I don't know what that is.
My hearing's so bad.
It's just weird because it's not as fast as the engine. Like, it's a That's really weird. I've worked a lot with these engines, and I'm trying to figure out what taps at that speed.
It seems to run really strong, in my opinion. I think it's probably one of the better running ones I've ever ridden. You're more than welcome to ride it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to...
It doesn't feel unhealthy or anything, so
It doesn't want to idle low either, which is interesting, because it's warmed up now. It's been past 3 minutes. When did you do the valves? Recently?
It was when I got it. It wouldn't run when I got it because the valves are so tight.
It's strange that it doesn't want to idle low like it should. Definitely want to idle low.
But yeah, like I said, that's the reason why I turned the idle up a little bit on it.
Oh, it's just a weird, quiet noise. used reverse?
Never used it. And the other day when I had it in here, I twisted it. Like, man, that cable feels like it's kind of safe.
It's not moving at all.
Yeah.
Ah, man. Let's see if it pulls out. Can't test it without pliers. Definitely not turnkey. Definitely needs rejetted. There it goes. Man. Bump that up. Only thing I'm thinking about is that slight noise. He says, in 3 years since you did the valve?
Yeah, 3 years.
Do you know anything about the timing chain?
I didn't think it was slapping or anything like that. It wasn't maxed out when I pulled it.
It wasn't maxed?
No.
I've just ran so many of these engines and I've never heard a weird... It's not even loud. It's not that loud. Like, it's not crazy bad. I'm just trying to think of what that could be. Darn key. If it didn't make that, I'd just take it and go. If you gotta go in and work,
No,
I can figure out what I would. I just trying to figure out. I think it's not idling well because it's so lean. It's definitely lean. Kind of like backfires out the carburetor a little bit. Sometimes if it's really lean, it can make weird noises too. But it's definitely lean.
Now, I don't know if a difference in temperature could have anything to do with it, but anytime I've ever ridden it, it's been summer, like 75, 80 degrees outside, and I've never had an issue with the idling or anything, so.
And you had a low idle too?
Yeah, low idle as well, yeah. Like I said, I've never turned it up until I brought it here.
Until you brought it here and it was cold?
I loaded off the trailer.
Because you don't ride it cold?
Yeah.
Alright. I feel like it's just so lean it actually might be... I don't know. I'm still thinking real quick. I don't know. It's unhappy. Alright.
Anytime I've ever ridden it, it's been during the nicer weather, and I mean, start up idle perfectly fine. I've never had to turn the idle up until, like I said, I got it out of storage after not riding it for probably a year and a half just the other day. New battery, fresh fuel, toss that I haven't got here. The idle kind of rough, so I popped the idle up on it.
Huh. It's just weird. Like, it will not even stay running even with a higher idle. I'm just trying to think if that's just valves. Does have an aftermarket coil, but
this one just kind of holds like a special place to me because I feel like every time I see the 03, 04s anymore, they're busted, like completely clapped.
I mean, I've had a lot of clap 400s, that's for sure. I've never had one with the nice Yoshi exhaust on it though. I have an LTR 450 with the Yoshi exhaust. I love them. They're so cool looking. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's not a loud enough noise that I'm not gonna let it bug me. I think once I get the valves all figured out, clean. Well, it could just be the carburetor running too lean. I don't know. Could be a mixture of things. But I'm gonna take your word on it.
So
it felt very weak.
Yeah. So
you probably felt
when
sketch
I got
on
it, the
it.
rear brake was actually seized, so I had to pull the actual brake pedal out of the frame. And I mean, I had to like work it out of the frame. It was so seized up. I pulled everything out, redid the O-rings and everything. I sprayed grease up inside of it and everything.
On the cylinder? The master cylinder?
No, not on the master cylinder, the actual brake pedal itself. So where it actually slides into the frame right there, it was seized up.
Oh, it wouldn't even move there?
You couldn't even push the pedals.
That's a weird place for it to Fail?
I don't know if the O-rings failed and it corroded on the inside of that little piece, but I pulled it out. It's not like rusted on the inside of it or anything, but I lubed it up real good and put it all back together.
So you don't even ride much?
No.
10 times in 3 years is like, that's like me.
Well, you know, it sucks, dude, because none of my buddies ride anymore, and it's one of those things, riding by yourself sucks.
Oh yeah, you don't go by yourself. Yeah, I don't go that often, but I definitely trying to go out more. I work on them like 20 times more than I ride them.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, and to be honest with you, dude, it was borderline clap when I got it. The guy that I bought it off of was in a sketchy trailer park, and I mean, nothing against people that live in sketchy trailer parks, but the seat and the seat foam completely gone. I bought new seat foam from Motor Seat, redid
Gotcha.
all that. Tires were Maypops. The aftermarket Chinese carburetor I couldn't get to run, couldn't get to idle, redid the valves, bought the OEM Suzuki carburetor. The wheels are all bent, wanting to hold air, bought new wheels and tires.
yeah.
Like I said, I mean, it's far from being perfect.
No, like I said, I mostly buy
I think it'll make a good one.
junk.
Yeah.
So if it just runs a little better on the idle, and then make the brakes a little better. I'm not sure why they're so weak, but they just felt weak. I just wanted to hit fifth gear, and I barely hit it. And I was like, ooh, okay. But all right, man. I'll load her up. You're good to go.
All right, cool, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks
Take
again.
care. Not too often I get to ride them up onto the trailer. Today I do.
All right, here she is. The supposedly turnkey LTZ400 that I picked up. 1500 cash was the deal, and he stuck with it. He was cool. He wouldn't budge at all. It is turnkey. It does start, though. I think it's safe to say there's a little bit that's not turnkey about it. Typically, when I say turnkey, I mean like everything works as it should. I think it's safe to say that this ignition kind of has an issue with the lighting and it moves around, but that's a tiny thing. I think the biggest issue is when she's idling. Even if you set the idle higher or lower, it kind of cuts out, and he's claiming that it never did that when the season was warm and that it's really only doing that now that it's cold. So I'm just going to take his word for that. I think if anything, I'm just going to tune the carb anyways and very likely get up in here. There was a tiny noise that I couldn't really explain. It wasn't like piston slap or anything I've really heard before. It was kind of subtle. You might be able to hear it in the video, but I'm not too concerned about it. I think once I get everything tuned up and she idles right, I'm hoping that noise doesn't even exist. But even if it does, it was so quiet, I'm not really sure what it was. So if you heard it and you think you know what it is, let me know in the comments. But all in all, I mean, I think she was actually cleaner than I thought. I think the fades, I mean, they're definitely there, but this one actually might come off on the top, but some of this might actually just be sticker residue. Like, see how the sticker came off and it's whiter there? I think that's the same with this. I don't think that's actually fade. I really think that might be sticker residue. So some of this might come off a lot better with a nice scrub. The seat's actually really nice, doesn't have any tears. He said he had to buy a new seat and a cover for it. But all in all, I mean, this is probably the worst faded spot everywhere out of the whole quad right here. So it's pretty rough there, but I think once we clean this up, clean it all up, give it a nice power wash and clean, it's going to look pretty decent. I really like this Yosh exhaust. He said he spent, I think it was $600 on it, or maybe that's how much it normally is, but he said he's probably done one ride with this exhaust. So very nice looking full exhaust, though I wonder if he had a stripped bolt, because he doesn't have the pretty Yosh shield here that I kind of like. It looks really nice. So I think all this, yeah, this just needs cleaned up. So yeah, aside from that idling issue, I really don't think there's much wrong with this bike. It definitely needs front brake work. These brakes are like squishy. I can push them all the way down, so it's possible it needs a master cylinder or it just needs flushed. So we'll look into that. So really, I think
mostly just need the reverse cable. That thing is literally, it doesn't move. But I was able to take pliers, pull that out, and test that reverse did work, didn't make any noises. So $1,500 cash, we got a pretty decent looking LTZ400. Came with these new rims on them. I forget what brand he said. And these ITP whole shot wheels, which these aren't very cheap from what I understand. And they got pretty good tread. I mean, that's like my finger height there, pretty good. And the fronts look just as good. So he wasn't lying about the rims, the tires, the exhaust. Those are nice newer components that are on there. The swing arm's actually pretty decent. Pretty much aside from that idling issue, which he claimed didn't exist prior to the cold weather, it's really a decent bike for what I paid for it. So all in all, I think I'm just going to give her a good cleanup. I'm going to tune this carb for this weather, or just get it to where she'll idle right and make her feel a lot better. I think we really just need to get her a little more fuel. I might be able to just turn the idle screw if I'm lucky. I don't think it's main jet because it revved out pretty nice. It pops on the way down, so I think it's just a little too lean. So it might be as simple as turning that, but I'll get to that in another video. For now, I just wanted to show what I got, what I paid, see what you guys thought. Was this a good deal? I think he said it was pretty beat up when he got it. I mean, you can tell it's definitely got some hours on it. It's not like it's, hasn't been ridden, but I think all in all, I mean, for $1,500, I think that's a pretty good deal. I need to figure out why the headlight's not working. I think that's kind of a nice feature. I might buy a backlight. I really just wanted to flip it though and make the quick 500, but at this point, I'm gonna have to do something with the carb and put a rear cable on it and an ignition. I have a whole cluster here with an ignition, so I might just steal the ignition. I might steal the cluster. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, so we might have what, 20 plus 10, $30 for those two, and tuning the car, that doesn't cost anything, so we might have 30 more bucks in it. I don't have much in gas. The drive wasn't crazy long or anything. I might have like 10 bucks tops in gas, probably not even that. So yeah, I think it was a pretty good deal. Let me know what you think in the comments, but that was my pickup today, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's a pretty cool bike, actually. I think if it had really nice plastics, like, I don't know, I'd be happy to pay $2,000 for that if I was looking to buy one for myself. So let me know what you think. You like these blue grips? I think this is one of those scenarios where I think the guy probably could have made a few hundred more bucks if he just sat on it and was willing to sell it to the next guy. He did say he had somebody coming later this evening to pick it up, as you saw in the messages, but he ended up being like, I'm not sure if that guy's going to go. He stopped responding, or if he's going to come, and he stopped responding. So he's like, I might as well just sell it to somebody that's right down the road that he knows, and just get it over with. I think maybe if he was just more patient, he could have got more out of it. But it's one of those things where if you want to make a little money, if you're willing to sit on something for a little bit longer, you can log another $300-400 profit. So I definitely think this one will sell quite easy. I just sold the yellow one in my previous video that you saw that I got for $700. That one did sell. I sold it for $2,200, which is a little low, but he bought the Mikuni carburetor for another $200. So I ended up getting like 24 for it. So that was the yellow one that I bought. So that was, it's the middle of December, right? So yeah, I definitely think even if this one doesn't sell, come January when I have it already, it'll sell in April, like March, April, if I kept it that long. But knowing me, I'll get it up and it'll probably sell for around $2,000. And that's just one of those things, you can definitely make money buying other people's lack of patience. And so it's just a little lesson that I think people can take advantage of if you have the time and if you have the money, if you have the resources. So yeah, hope you guys have a good one. Happy holidays. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.